On the last All Out show, John drunk texted me to tell me that we're friends. John's drunk texting me like, you know we're friends.
You're such a dick, man. That's not what I said. If you're going to tell the story, tell it properly.
Kind of late for a text, sorry, but I'm up. About the friend shit on the air. Hey, yeah, bottom line, I have your back, no question, for what it is worth. For what it is worth.
Yeah.
Thanks, John. I appreciate that, man.
No,
Thanks.
you don't.
In the news, I talk about how cool it would be if they had parks for straight people to bang in.
But yeah, back in the day, this gay guy I know, I mean, he would just go to the park. They would just get it going.
Yeah, dog.
Like, wow,
yeah.
man. That's crazy. But all right.
Yeah, I know a couple dudes that do that type shit still to this day. I'm like, damn. I wish I had something like that for straight people. Wouldn't that be nice? Just like a fuck park. You could just go out there and chick will be waiting there and you're like, hey, how you doing? And just fuck. It'd be so rad. And Charlie LaDuff stops by to talk about his new book, Shit Show, All About America.
It's important for me to reach your audience because this book is about them. It's about Baltimore, Ferguson, the border in Texas, Philadelphia, Detroit, Flint, and how all of that comes together.
When tragedies happen, news anchors are fucking coming in their pants. They're like, wow, there's a bunch of shit I get to talk about.
We all know that the grand jury is not going to indict Officer Wilson, right? In the Michael Brown shooting. But TV gets there a couple weeks early, sets up temporary sets in the streets of West Florissant. They know what they're there for. We're going to be here in position for the riot, bring you the show, right?
And now here's another episode of the All Out Show. What up, though? Is that the live version and shit? Whatever. Am I popping? Or do I need to just turn myself up?
No, you sound fine.
Do I? All right, good. Yep. I heard myself get a little hot in the intro. The mic blew out a couple times. In that intro, here's a radio speak. When they say you sound hot, it means your shit is too high. You're just fucking up the levels. You learn something. I'm doing the show in the robe today. Fucking A, man. Robe life. Robe life. I live the robe life, baby. I'm hopeless. Yeah, I caught you out there with that live shit, huh? Decided to switch it up. What'd I do today? Nothing. What'd I do last night? Nothing. Charlie LaDuff was cool. He wanted to go hang out. I was like, I'm fucked up, bro. Like, as soon as I get good, I'm going to be out there raging with you. And we'll do it all over again. He rode up in a Cadillac. He had an old fool Cadillac. I think it was a Fleetwood. That was cool, chopping up with Charlie LaDuff. He's a Detroit legend, and good interview. You should check it out if you missed it yesterday. Look at that. We got all the hard hitting. We're doing all the hard hitting shit. I got director George Russell. He did a documentary called Troll Incorporated about this dude that like went to prison for hacking and shit like that, which is crazy. Now I don't know if you've been paying attention, but like, yo, man, they be trying to OD on all these rules on the internet, man. Like, I think in Europe they're trying to make it where you can't use like copyrighted images. So your meme game, it's a wrap. Like, meme game's done. It's over. And that's it. That's that shit. I probably won't talk to him about that because the fuck does he know? You know what I mean? He just knows about this dude. But you gotta keep your eyes peeled. Keep watching that shit, son. Keep watching that shit, son. All right. What else we got? Doing the pill mix today. John's got the news. Some professor got caught out there denying the moon landing. I want to deny the moon landing. That's one of them. There's certain conspiracies where I just don't give a fuck. Actually, most conspiracy theories I just don't care about. Like 9/11 and fucking the moon landing and shit. I'm trying to think of like what the most believable. What do y'all think the most believable fucking conspiracy theory is? Like that actually could. See, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, the moon landing one is the most believable one to me.
What?
What other conspiracy? Lizard people? That shit. Like, the lizard people, I can't believe in that. Or even the Illuminati. Like, that just seems like a real pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Like, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Is the Illuminati even a conspiracy, or is that like?
Yeah, that's the secret group controlling the world. That whole idea. A lot of people want to believe
like
it.
Rockefellers and Bilderbergs and shit like that.
Right.
I don't even know. Like, I don't even know anything about them. I just hear the names of it, like Bilderberg, and then that means bad or something. I guess, yeah, like maybe Illuminati and moon landing are the two that I could be like, yeah, could be.
Maybe the 9/11. I mean, everyone really jumped on that conspiracy theory that we planned it.
Oh, stop, Chris. Stop.
You know what, man? This is my one thing. Again, do you know how many people have to do everything right for that shit to be pulled off?
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean,
Dog, look at our show, bro. We got 5 people. We can never. We haven't had a perfect show yet.
That's not true.
We haven't had one fucking perfect show. Like, look around us serious. All we do is fuck up. That's all we do. Like, I'm not trying to throw other shows under the bus, but like, for fuck's sakes, dude. I stopped believing that conspiracy once I started working in a corporation. I'm like, there's no fucking way that all these people can be on the same page and get that shit right.
That's where I fall down. It's just so hard to keep a secret. It just seems impossible. All right, here's one that everyone wants to believe. JFK being assassinated.
Jay in Indianapolis. Jay.
From Detroit?
All right, well, fuck it. Jay from Detroit. What up, man?
Dude, the biggest conspiracy is Sandy Hook.
Was that where what is it? Is that did they like mind control his ass?
You ever see those videos of those actors? They were laughing, they were clowning, and then once the cameras turned on, he like started huffing and puffing and crying. One of the dads of the victims.
No shit.
Yeah,
what?
It's all over YouTube.
I gotta peep that shit. I have seen like there's videos where like I don't know what Arab country it is where the kids are teaching the kids how to act like they're having convulsions from gas and shit like that. Like they got it on camera, like teaching the kids how to.
That's probably Syria.
Yeah, it might have been. They're. Yeah, it's you can't trust nothing. No, so the Sandy Hook. All right, that's an interesting one.
No.
You gotta look at the video on YouTube. It's crazy.
Jude, please,
dude.
please.
John, I've been locked up in the crib since fucking since last week. I haven't gone anywhere, bro. Like, all I can do is look at conspiracy theories on YouTube. Yeah, like I got shit to do. I'm gonna go look at a conspiracy theory on YouTube. I'm gonna look up the Sandy Hook conspiracy now when I get back.
Well, just for the record, that is the idea that this guy who went in there and killed all these kids, that it was a false flag operation to take our guns away, and this is insanity. I mean, Jay, you're out of your fucking mind, man. Sorry.
They were actors,
Jay,
dumbass.
You're out of your fucking mind, man. They're not actors. They're grieving parents. What?
See, I heard that the motherfucker was,
and then going straight to crime. I mean, he's laughing, he's making jokes with the media, and then they say, "Okay, lights, camera, action," and he takes 4 deep breaths and starts crying.
All right, Jay. Look,
No.
So that's one. I thought the conspiracy that the dude was brainwashed by the CIA. That was the shit I had heard. I didn't heard that it was fake.
Right. So,
Jay and Inde.
Hey, Jude, what's up, man?
What up, bro?
Yeah, man, I was calling because I think that that Kennedy assassination shit by the government is true as hell, man. Him and Martin Luther King are gonna make this place a better place, man. And they killed old boy, man. That's for damn ridiculous.
That's one that I kind of agree with him on that shit. I agree with you on. That's one of them where I'm like, the Oliver Stone movie really flipped me. Yeah.
I mean, Jude, think about this though. Hell, you can even say that about Tupac and maybe Biggie. Maybe they felt like their influence was too great over society, man, and they felt like they were a threat, so they had to eliminate them because they still ain't found out who killed neither 3 of those men, Kennedy, Tupac, or Biggie. So it's got to be something to it, bro. But I appreciate the call, man.
You got it, Jay. All right, see, that's where I got to part ways with him. I don't think there was a conspiracy with Biggie and Pac, and the reason why they couldn't get any but no witnesses would talk. They couldn't get any witnesses to talk. I don't even say nothing. Matthew and Austin.
Hey, what about, I feel like you and I have done enough psychotropic drugs to expand our mind to the place where MK Ultra could have been a possibility.
Which one was MK Ultra?
That's the one where, CIA brainwashed a bunch of people in, the 50s and turned them into, secret assassins and zombies, and these dudes wake up and they don't even know what's going on, but they, assassinate a dictator somewhere or something.
Yeah, like the Manchurian Candidate. That shit seems...
And even RFK, they say, the guy that shot RFK was, a CIA brainwash guy. And that's just believable enough for me that I go, all right, it's far enough away, and then some drug can trip you out and mind control could possibly happen. That, I don't know, maybe that's a thing.
That one, see, that's another, I guess I am more open-minded to conspiracy theories than I thought. John, you don't believe none of this shit, do you?
Man, that 9/11 stuff, I watched them all, the JFK stuff, I'm like, Occam's razor says the simplest answer is always the probable answer, but some of that MK Ultra stuff makes you go, man, they're probably, rolling up on people, making them do crazy shit, and they don't even know about it through drugs or psychotropics or fucking hypnotization or some shit. It's believable, at least.
Hell yeah, I seen what one woman could do to my homeboy. You know what I mean? I seen real talk, man. I seen some strong-willed men just get broken and fucking pussy whooped and handled, and they just become little puppets. You know what I mean? And that's just from a chick. That's not even from the fucking CIA, with a plan. Fucking with a plan. The lady said that she was we got to find that interview again, the Prince one. Remember the lady said she was Prince's wife or some shit? She was saying that same shit about the CIA. Taylor in San Diego.
Hey, how's it going, Rude? Jude, first time calling my man. It's a pleasure talking to you. How you doing?
Man, I'm great, Doug. How you?
I'm good, bro. Hey, man, I'm down for a lot of conspiracy theories and whatnot. Or should I say, I find them interesting, but one of the most that I found is this video where Stevie Wonder catches the microphone for Paul McCartney. Bro, it's undeniable that he caught the microphone. There's no editing, no nothing. But the dude's supposed to be blind.
I feel you, and I saw that one too, but I don't know, man. Bro, didn't you ever see that shit, Blind Fury, with Rutger Hauer, where he could just feel shit because he just.
Yeah, I get that, especially being that he's more auditorially or whatever that word is inclined. But I mean, he was on the stage surrounded by people, and for a dude to just trip over a standing microphone, and for him to just catch it on point. I mean, I get it with the Blind Fury reference, but then, I mean, when you see it, it's just what's really going on here, bro? I mean, I got mad respect for Stevie Wonder, regardless if he's blind or not.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's lying about being blind. That's a long-ass lie, because he's been a child performer. That motherfucker. It's not like he just came on the scene out of nowhere. You know what I mean? He was little Stevie Wonder back in the day. So she in Houston.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So I quickly wanted to say something about the Anthony guy that just quote unquote committed suicide.
Anthony Bourdain.
I don't know if you guys have been following the story, but apparently he was getting ready to do a special about people within the industry who were pedophiles or something like that.
Oh, for real?
And yes, and he had recently called out Hillary Clinton about not being sued because she has always known about stuff like this, and that recently there was some kind of raid about some kind of sex trafficking thing or something that was behind the Clinton Foundation.
Damn.
Something in that area, yeah. So pretty much what they're saying is because he was about to expose these big time people, and he spoke up about that Weinstein guy. I don't know what his name was. Yeah. The dude in Hollywood that everybody keeps talking about. They were saying that he just randomly was found hanging in his hotel room. And that before that, he was also telling other people around him that he is constantly getting harassed by, the Clinton people and, you know, other people who didn't like the government and all that stuff. He said that he gets harassed and threatened all the time because of the stuff that he was doing. You know, about the documentary that he was about to do.
Well, we'll look into that. We should debunk, and we need more conspiracy theories. We need to take more time on these conspiracy theories, gentlemen.
I'm sorry, her deal was that Anthony Bourdain was killed? Is that what she was saying? I was on the phone.
Yeah. Because he was finna do some shit on pedophiles.
Oh, no. No.
We got some news on pedophiles. Look at that. Hey, look at that. We bring it right on back. And John picked some news on pedophiles. The news lineup John has picked for us today is stellar. That's all I can say. Fucking stellar. All right. Let's play some music. We got what's one man's name? We got George Russell, Troll Incorporated. We're gonna talk to him. That's coming up next. After that, it's the news, and then we got the pill mix.
You are checking out the All Out Show with Rude Jude on demand.
Shea 45, I'm here with documentarian George Russell. You did Troll Incorporated.
Yep.
Trolling is like, now everybody says they troll, but like you were fucking with some of the OG trolls.
Yeah, this was back in 2012, so this was right before it became a mainstream thing.
Will you define it for me?
Trolling is tough nowadays, because nowadays everybody is, thinking, oh, a troll is just a guy who's a dick on the internet,
Yeah.
But back then it was actually like it was akin to performance art. Like a real troll was somebody who was doing, they were performing like an artistic thing on the internet. This came out of like, internet culture from back in the early 2000s.
You do kind of like, the way I picked it up was like you would do like almost asshole shit that people didn't know if you meant it or not, but it was more just to get kind of people thinking a bit. Is that fair to say?
I wouldn't. Some trolls had that kind of high-mindedness, but other guys were just trying to mess with people. But it requires an audience. It requires two things. It requires an audience.
Okay.
So I can't troll you if no one else is watching.
It wouldn't matter.
Yeah. And then the other thing is it has to have some sort of humor. So people kind of equate, trolling nowadays with like harassment or bullying and all that stuff.
Right.
But if there's no humor involved, it's not trolling. Even if it's Schadenfreude, like I'm laughing at you falling down. That's still humorous. It may be mean humor, but it's still.
What were some of the early examples of the trolling back in the day?
The first troll ever was actually a woman, and she was on what was called Usenet.
No shit.
So
congratulations, ladies, you did it.
She was. That was back when
penicillin.
Exactly.
Was that Marie Curie?
I think that was X-rays, but
fuck me.
Whatever.
All right.
It's close enough.
Sandwiches.
Yeah. So back when the internet was just text only, you know what I mean? And she would go into these like, super earnest discussions of like, scientists and academics talking about whatever topic that they found interesting.
Yeah.
And she would just go in there and just start, basically messing with them. Take the opposite viewpoint on purpose, say outlandish, ridiculous things.
Just to needle them.
Yeah. And she's actually working at a music software company. We tried to get her in the film, but she refused to be in it. But she's a famous internet troll, the first ever. So.
And tell me about the troll that you followed in this movie.
Well, his name's Andrew Arnheimer.
What they call him?
Weave is the pseudonym. That he's like one of the only internet trolls that actually trolls under his real name. So he's happy to tell you who he is. Most trolls are anonymous.
Right.
So
he went to jail.
He went to jail. Yeah.
How many years did he serve?
He served 1.5 of a 3.5-year sentence.
What'd they get him for?
Basically, he there's a set of computer laws called the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, and it's a giant set of laws. But basically, the bottom line is according to the government, he accessed a computer without permission. And there's a federal law that says if I do something like take your cell phone and look through it when I don't have permission to do that, under that law, you can be prosecuted.
My homie's Cuban girlfriend would have been in jail about 50 times by now.
Yeah. Well, it's a selective thing.
Shit.
So it's like
they
wrote it so it's so ambiguous you could prosecute anybody, for simple stuff like that.
So it's a very ambiguous law that they can use as a bludgeon to go after anybody that they want.
Exactly.
And he went out. He fucked with AT&T.
AT&T and Apple. So the whole thing that he did was the iPad, the very first iPad that came out. In the film, we have Steve Jobs, standing up and giving his big legendary speech about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right at that time, Weave and his compatriots had found the fact that AT&T, as the cellular provider for that iPad, were just throwing out every user's email address to the open web. So you just went to a little URL, like you would type in www.whatever.com, and it would just spit out the emails to you. It was a bug. It was a bug, basically.
So he didn't even fucking hack anything. He just went to the goddamn URL.
He just released information. There was no hacking involved.
That was already public.
Yep.
And he was prosecuted.
Yes.
And they tried to put his ass under the jail.
They did put him in jail. I mean, he was found guilty.
But they threw a long ass sentence at him.
Yeah. And it wasn't, I don't want to make, I went to pains in the film to not make it like some big, the government's bad story. Part of the reason he got that sentence was because he was a troll and he would not back down. So if you don't have that in the mix, and the fact that he went into...
He was unapologetic.
Yeah, and he wrote letters telling the prosecutors that, they should quit their jobs and go find work in the public sector. He trolled the prosecutors. He trolled the judge. So he never backed down. He never broke character. The other people in the case that were his, co-conspirators, they all pled and jumped out as fast as they could.
He's been accused of being a racist, a Nazi. How much is that? When you dealing with him, how much is that? Is that him fucking around or not?
Well, that's all that stuff that's happened recently with him is after the film.
This is all post-film. So pre-film, he wasn't doing
pre-film and
shit.
During the film, he was a completely different guy. I haven't spent a lot of time with him lately, so I don't know. But I know all that stuff happened after he got out of prison, and I can tell you 100% that the dude who came out of prison was. If you watch the film, you'll see him because the last shots of the film are him walking out of jail. So if
it changed him.
Yeah, if you look at everything before and after, it's a completely different guy.
Huh.
So
John hates him.
Oh, he's a. I mean, for me, there's trolling. And, people troll me all the time here on the show.
That's not trolling. They just fuck with you.
Well, sure.
That's different.
But they're just trying to bait me. But, I mean, he's out there saying, virulently racist things.
Recently.
Oh, but also back in the day. I mean, here's a quote. "I've been a long-time critic of Judaism, black culture, immigration to Western nations, the media's constant stream of anti-white propaganda. Judge Wigginton was as black as they come. The prosecutor was a Brooklyn Jew. From old money, New York family." I mean, this guy says hateful stuff all the time. That's his life. It's
was
not
that part of what he was doing in trolling, or was that just his response to the case?
Before, years ago.
That was after the.
Well, when did you shoot the film?
2012.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
the
do you
film
have
is
a
definitely
problem
not
with
about
his
what he's doing
trolling?
today.
I guess is my point is, do you got a problem with this trolling? Like, look, man, I'm not here to fucking. I grew up on rap music. Half the rappers I like fucking don't like white people, so I'm a bit more understanding of the complexity of people's idea of race and how they like one another. I'm a bit more understanding of that. What do you have a problem with him fucking with Apple?
I mean, to an extent. I realize he exploited some bug or something like that. Wasn't that the deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
it was already out there. He just exploited something that was flawed.
Right.
But then he took that information. So
yeah. I mean, my whole thing with this is that I think if you watch the film, you'll see that transition, and none of this would have happened if the government hadn't gone after this dude.
They went after how much? FBI was on his ass for what? How many years?
Well, they said they've been following him since he was 15. So in the indictment that they handed him when they arrested him, so they said they were following him since he was 15, and he was arrested when he was 28. So what is that? 15 years? 14 years?
That's a lot of time and money.
Yeah. So, I think if you don't put that into the story with the person he is now,
how can you not be anti-government? How can you not be anti-government when you hear like?
Well, I sat down with the prosecutors. I did my best to try to get them to be in the film.
Right.
So I flew to New Jersey. I had a couple meetings with them. How
do you wrap your head around that though, bro? It's like they spent 15 years going after a teenager that was fucking around on the internet because he could.
Man, it's the nature of bureaucracy. Don't get involved. Do not piss off the wrong people. That would be my advice to everybody.
What was the main?
Don't get enmeshed in this.
What was their main
system.
thing that they wanted to get across, in your opinion, of when they were going?
They wanted
after
to say,
him?
don't mess around on the computer. Don't mess with these giant corporations. Don't cause problems on the internet. Because at that same time, there was that whole LulzSec thing. So like they were hacking Sony and defacing giant corporation web pages, and they were on the nightly news every single night for like several months.
Could they keep doing that if they wanted to, or has Sony and everybody gotten better at?
They've gotten better. That's the nature.
Did
of
they
this
hire
thing.
the people?
No.
They didn't hire the.
No.
They didn't hire the trolls.
No, because these people, you wouldn't want most of these people working at your corporation. You know what I mean? They would piss off everybody, and they're just not. Imagine hiring an antisocial 150 IQ person that just wants to fuck with people and doesn't care. You know what I mean?
Right.
You would never get any work done. So.
I was watching one of these docs. It wasn't yours. I don't think you mentioned it, but one of these like so-called fucking trolls, and he was part of Anonymous. He was working with the CIA. He was actively working with the CIA during Occupy Wall Street. Are you familiar with this one? With this cat?
No, but that doesn't surprise me at all. Why not? I mean, it would be so easy to infiltrate kind of these groups, and I'm sure they are.
Yeah, they cracked them. They fucking, and then they just had them like just doing that shit.
Yeah.
So
Anonymous were like hacktivists, though. They weren't. I wouldn't call them trolls. You know what I mean? Nothing they were doing was like particularly funny. So
they were more hacking and then pushing.
Yeah.
Was it interesting for you to watch how much? How do I put this? People were often complaining about the Russians. They were responsible for fucking with the election allegedly. Well, even just fucking they had one of the largest BLM Black Lives Matters Twitter followings, and then they were fucking
but
with
it was a fake
Clinton.
one.
They were fucking with Trump. Like how much political espionage did you come across in doing this film that each country does to one another?
I mean, the guy who broke that Russian troll farm story was a Gawker reporter named Adrian Chen. He works for the New Yorker now.
Yeah,
he's in the film. So I mean, we didn't uncover a lot. I mean, the thing is that Russian troll farm story has been blown completely out of proportion. They bought like what 100K in Facebook ads, or even less than that.
It's not that much.
Yeah, I mean, they spent. I think this was, they spent billions this year on the presidential election, both parties together, the Democrats and Republicans. So, when you dive into a lot of this, it's not as big of a story as people like to make it. I think what's happening is people are taking information and weaponizing it, and so everything is about the clickbait headline, and no one dives into the actual story, because that story about the Russian troll farm was written 4 years ago. That was his first version. He actually flew to Russia while he was working at Gawker.
No shit.
And interviewed went to the building, tried to find everybody, and so it's been around for a long time.
And we as Americans, America does it as well against other countries.
Yeah, I mean, we have radio stations in other countries called whatever Freedom Radio and shit like that. So I wouldn't say we're you got to
kind of what you do.
Back.
That's kind of what you do. If you're like, if I'm a country, I'm gonna fucking use my top guys to go fuck with other people.
Yeah.
Probably try to disrupt certain things.
Propaganda is war by another means. You know what I mean? Like if I can convince you of something, we don't have to fight about it. So
fucking deep.
That's half of what they're doing.
It's fucking deep, son. When you stepped away from this, George, we're talking about Troll Incorporated. This is the video's on demand starting May 22nd. You can check it out.
iTunes, Amazon, all that stuff.
All of that. What did you come away from? What was your thoughts on Weave, the troll that you covered? What was your thought? How this guy's extremely intelligent, right?
Yeah. I mean, he went to college. I don't know, second year in high school. They sent him to college. He taught himself how to program. He's been a computer programmer his whole life. So, my thoughts on the guy?
Yeah.
Man, that's a tough one. During the film, I thought he was brilliant. I thought it was amazing that he stood up for himself. That's such a character trait that is just completely evaporated, kind of in the American spirit. And so to watch somebody stand up and say, no, I'm not backing down, I'm going to be true to myself and my values and all that stuff.
You hear that, John?
At that time, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of arguments nowadays that can be made. But again, the film was made. We interviewed Weave in late 2012. He was sentenced, and then we were expecting him to spend 3.5 years in prison. And I wanted the last shot of the film to be, him walking out of jail. But, things changed, and 1.5 years later, he was out. So we had to scramble to finish this thing. And it's been going through the festival circuit and all that stuff for the last 1.5 years, and now it's finally coming out. But I think the number one thing that they should take away from the film is basically how the media has changed into this clickbait kind of obsessed culture that I mean, you'll see us interview like a Gawker reporter who's like, if you don't have clicks on your story, you don't have a story. Gawker paid people by the click, you know what I mean? So This is, and now all news organizations are moving to that model.
So even getting the facts isn't the most important thing. Like,
no.
I've often seen them like just tear down people and then do it for months and months and months, and then a retraction at 6 months later after they've decimated a person's character.
And that's never going away. That's the future. We've gone back in time to like this yellow journalism thing. When Charles Lindbergh flew across the Atlantic back in the 1920s, they reported during that whole 2-3 day period that he'd crashed several times. They said they found him floating around in the Atlantic. They said his mom got in a plane and was flying around trying to find him. Like, it's amazing what they used to print back in the day, but that's because no one had any information, and we're kind of back to that now, where you can just print whatever you want, and there's no one there to care.
Accountable. Yeah. And no one's accountable to it. And now you see people actually using it to their advantage, whether the news is real or not. They'll say fake news and be able to. If I believe in that person, I will believe that the news is fake. If I do not believe in that person, I will believe that he is lying. So it allows us to create our own narrative in our own little fake world that we live in.
Pretty much, man.
Crazy.
Pretty much. So
fucking crazy.
Welcome to the future.
I know, that's why I don't watch nothing ever. I don't trust anybody ever. Yeah. Unlike John here, who's a fucking. MSNBC, it must be true, huh, John?
I'm a tool of the machine.
You are a fucking tool. You goddamn tool. Troll Incorporated. I suggest you guys to check it out, especially if you're into. It's beyond computers, man. It's like this weird social engineering in a way that they really use. I don't know if social engineering is the right word.
It is the right word. It sprang out of computer programming culture. All trolls came out of computer programming culture originally. So these are really smart people that are basically trying to amuse themselves and have some fun. So,
and it's been picked up by the mass media, and they're using similar techniques to kind of like fuck with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't trust anything ever, except for this movie.
Trust
Troll
but
Incorporated.
verify.
Yeah. Troll Incorporated. You can trust Troll Incorporated. George Russell won't lie to you, and I won't either. I guarantee it. Yeah. Troll Incorporated. Thank you. Is there anything else that you want to bring up that I failed to hit on?
I mean, the fact that it might be interesting to go over the fact that trolling is like now a mainstream thing that everybody practices every day. I mean, all this stuff, a lot of it started on like 4chan and stuff.
Yeah.
Memes came out of troll culture, and now everybody shares memes. So it's like a lot of this is not something that's kind of, that abstract. Most people, if you have a Facebook account or a Twitter account, you're practicing trolling every day.
Yes.
The second you have an argument with somebody, you've learned how to do that, through watching all these other people do it. So
Troll Incorporated. George Russell, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You are checking out the All Out Show with Rude Jude on demand.
Yo. Shade 4-5. What up, though? What's up? All right, this is what we got for you. These next couple hours. Pill mix. But before that, news with John. Fucking Chinny boy. Chinny Chin Chin. You can follow at the All Out Show. And that's on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm One More Jude on Instagram. And on Twitter, I'm at Rude_Jude.
Also, listen on demand, Sirius.com/on-demand. All Out Show. Or get the app, which is extra, but it's worth it. Trust me. Trust me, it's worth it. It's worth every fucking penny. I promise. All right. Don't go nowhere. We got the news coming up next.
You are checking out the All Out Show with Rude Jude on demand.
And now, it's time for News from the Chin with John Z. Matthews.
There's a new study out which is linking a nation's sex drive to winning Nobel Prizes.
Is it if you win a Nobel Prize, you have a lower sex drive?
No. If you're having more sex, then the chances are greater you're going to be a smart person and out there.
What?
Well, the idea, according to this, they're claiming that IQ alone is not enough to produce winners, but greater levels of testosterone also needed.
Because that gives you that drive.
Exactly.
But I don't know, man. It seems kind of like some bullshit. Because there's a lot of overpopulated countries that don't have any Nobel Prize winners.
You know, that's very true. I know that.
Yeah. There's like a gang of them motherfuckers. Like a lot. And then there's only there's not that many Jews in this world, and there's a gang of Jewish Nobel Prize winners.
Is that true? I don't know. I guess
there's disproportionate amount of Jewish Nobel Prize winners so maybe they're just having safe sex and not nutting in their girls.
See, they're smart.
Maybe I'm tying sex and procreation together for some dumb reason. Because that's how you make a baby. Maybe that's why. I don't know. This one seems a little shaky to me.
Hey, it's a university out of Finland again. A professor, a smart person, an anthropologist.
Me and my homies got some high ass sex drives, and none of us are gonna win fucking shit. We ain't winning a fucking thing, bro. Nothing.
Well, they found that the UK, Cyprus, and France have more Nobel Prizes per head than academically gifted Japan or China, where people have been shown to have the least amount of sex.
All right, okay. It's a bigger world out there than just UK, China. I ain't stacking them up against the whole world. What about out of Africa or South America?
I'd have to check on that. But
they don't mention them. And they be fucking like a motherfucker, bro. I'm going to call bullshit on this study.
Well, to support that idea, the professor did say something strange. He said, put simply, no balls, no Nobels. That just seems like a strange thing to say.
No guts, no glory. No balls, no Nobels. All right, that's okay. I don't know. So the more sex you have, the better chance. What was the main premise again? Just one more time so I can wrap my fucking head around this.
So the greater levels of testosterone are also needed to get out there and then produce winners. So you have to be aggressive.
All right. So it isn't who's having more sex. You just said that. That was just the headline. Like that was the grabber.
Well, that's what they're right. That's how they're framing it.
That's how they got us to talk about it.
Precisely.
Sex. Well played, fucking article writer, author of the article. Whatever the fuck y'all are called, journalists. Well played, journalists. It's bullshit. All right, go ahead. What else?
All right, there's another professor. This guy's in some trouble, and he is out of New Jersey, and he's facing some scrutiny after he was reported to have made several controversial statements, including that we didn't land on the moon, and he's also teaching Holocaust conspiracies, which is somewhat shocking.
I mean, he shouldn't be teaching. But while we're at it, we should also get all these motherfuckers that like gender is a fucking social construct the fuck out of there too. Like while we're getting rid of all this weird fake science shit, why don't we just get rid of all of it?
Maybe. I mean, but this seems so far.
I sit down with some of my young family members, and the shit that they pour on my head, I'm like, what are you fucking talking about right now? Like, I was dumb as hell in science, and I know what the fuck. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. 51 sexes. Fuck out of here.
Do you get into real debates and arguments?
Oh, yeah, man. Like, I've had family members crying.
Oh, man. Don't do that. What, like holidays?
Because with them, too, like, if you don't fucking believe what they say, they take it as a personal attack on them. Like, if I have an idea that you don't like or anybody doesn't like, I don't take it like, fuck Jude. It's just fuck my idea. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not my ideas. I'm more than just one idea. But some of these young kids, man, you like, fuck that idea. It's a stupid idea, and it's done because of this. It's done because of this, and look at these chromosomes and the hormones over here and all this, that, and the third. And then, but my professor said blah, blah, blah. And then they start, you could tell they just saying whatever the fuck their professor told them. And then when you shit on it, then they go cry. I'm like, that's fucking 40 grand down the drain. And then they're going to be out in the workforce complaining that they don't get paid enough. I'm like, well, go fucking study some shit. That'll get you some money, you fucking idiot. Learn a trade. Learn a fucking trade. What does this guy teach?
He's over at William Patterson University, and it looks like he's a sociologist. And so,
man, you got to stay away from all them studies, bro. Stay away from all that sociology, all that humanities shit. College is a racket, bro. You got to stay away from that shit, man.
His name is Clyde Magarelli. Do you want to hear him in class?
Oh, you got him on tape?
Yeah. What happened was the student was just so stunned, she whipped out her phone and said, okay.
All right, let's hear this motherfucker.
Space satellites, they simply do not.
Right. She's going to ask a question.
They make good propaganda. Yeah.
What's your theory on the moon landing again? On the moon landing. What do you think about it?
Actually, it can actually see the moon. You can't land on the moon, but you can see it in detail. Why?
That's what I was asking. I don't know.
What's on the moon? There's no atmosphere. Okay, so you don't have this. Yeah, you can see actually great detail. That's about as close as we can get to the moon, because we can't land on it to get back. Okay.
We haven't landed on the moon?
We've never been to the moon. You didn't know that?
No.
Give me a quick run of that.
Oh, boy.
Damn.
This guy's
moon landing. Doesn't believe in that. I don't really know. They say we did, so I guess we did. I didn't pay it. Like, I didn't really look into it, but sure, why not?
But part of you doubts it? Come on, please.
I just don't give a fuck. And if, like, I'm not over here burning brain cells on whether or not we landed on the moon. They do got a good point. Like, why ain't we been back?
Man, don't do this.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying we did or we did. I don't know. I'm ignorant to like shit. Like, there's certain things I'm just ignorant to. So I don't like. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Like, if I had to make a bet, and you're like, Jude, did we land on the moon? I'll be like, yeah, I'll bet you money we landed on the moon. Like, yeah. But if some shit came out, like, in 15 years, like, turns out we didn't land on the moon, I'm like, oh, no shit. I wouldn't be like, oh, my God, my whole life was a lie. Everything I thought I trusted, I can't trust. I'd be like, oh, okay. They say that the flag up there turned white because of the radiation or some shit from the sun. The U.S. flag.
I believe that. And
so now it's a French flag. Boom. Flag of surrender. There it is. That wasn't mine. That was someone else's. I don't know.
So, but this guy is out there in class talking about the flag, saying it started with a conspiracy that since the video of the flag on the moon was waving, it must have been photoshopped. I mean, this guy's a jackass.
I've heard that shit. Like, there's like no fucking wind or some shit. I don't know, bro. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a scientist, man. I can barely defend the whole two sexes. That's about as good as I can get with that science shit. And then everything else, I'm just a fucking moron when it comes to it.
Yeah, but this is flat Earth territory here. I mean, you gotta.
Yeah, he's a cunt hair away from the flat Earth. He's a cunt hair away. But like, yo, bro, if I went to the moon, wouldn't you want to go back to the moon like that? Like, if you got some bomb pussy, wouldn't you want to go back and hit that shit one more time again?
Yes.
We ain't never hit that shit again.
Expensive. Costs a lot of money. Other stuff to do. Right?
Bro, we blow money on everything, man. Get the fuck out of here. Money expensive. Expensive. Fuck out of here.
Well, if you were to make another bet, you think he's going to survive? Will he keep his job over at William Patterson University in Wayne, New Jersey?
He might. As long as you don't say anything that's construed as sexist or racist, I think you're pretty good in the university system.
Would you fire him? Or would you keep him around?
I'd fire all those motherfuckers, I told you. I'd get rid of I'd fire all those motherfuckers. All these people preaching this dumb bullshit. Like that, like, get the fuck out. Drop kick these motherfuckers.
And again, he's also
ignoring science and shit. Nah.
He's also drifting into
what else?
Holocaust conspiracies. So he's got some.
Buddy.
He's got a lot going on.
Now you're really.
Yeah.
now you're alienating your base, bro. Like, don't do that. Holocaust conspiracies. They got the there's people with tattoos. Like, there's people with tattoos. Like, they got them on tape. They got them. There's film. I can't even. I mean, yeah, he's far. Yeah, he's way off.
He's in some trouble. So Congress has now moved to ban child sex robots that are being picked up around the world by pedophiles because they want to have sex with these robots, and they look like kids. So now the government.
All right, follow this logic. All right, people make this fucking. People are always arguing like you can't choose what you're attracted to. Like, I was born a fucking. I'm a woman in my head. Like, me, I'm a woman. I believe I'm a woman. I think I'm fucking black. I'm attracted to men. There's nothing I can do about it. You know what I mean? Or I can't help it. I'm attracted to women. That this is already like determined, right?
Okay.
You think these fucking weirdos, like, for real, do you think they really chose that shit? Like, what are we supposed to... I just don't know what to do with pedophiles. Like, I don't know what to do with a fucking pedophile.
Hey, I'm with you. It doesn't seem like you can cure it.
Yeah, it's not like you can just beat them into not being a pedophile anymore. It's not like I can whoop a motherfucker's ass into being like, I can't like find a gay dude and beat his ass straight. Can't nobody beat me up enough to make me like sucking dick. You know what I mean? So like this guy, his weird thing is they like fucking children, and that's fucked up. Yeah. Like, hands down, it's fucked up. We're all agreeing on this. What are we supposed to do with these guys?
I don't know. Castration or something, maybe. By the way, that seems medieval. I don't have the answer, obviously.
I don't know either. That's what I mean. So I thought, yo, you give them a fucking, you give them throw them the fucking doll, put them in the corner over there, like give them maybe it's like a pedophile hotel that they all could live together over there and just fucking, just stay the fuck away from children. Yeah, it's fucked up, bro. Like, I don't know, man.
Who named this bill? They're calling it the Creeper Act, which stands for Curbing Realistic Exploitative Electronic Pedophilic Robots Act. Creeper Act.
I see the argument for it and against it. Mine is just like, what do you do? Kill them? You know what I mean? Like, and especially if they haven't acted out on this shit. Like, there's some dudes, man, like, there was cats that I knew hanging out with. I'm like, this is going to be a creepy motherfucker. Like, I would never bring my, you know what I mean? I'm never bringing my, youngsters around this motherfucker. And they ain't do nothing yet. It's fucked up.
Well, the idea is that it would normalize this behavior, and they'd go out there into the world and actually start acting on these impulses, obviously.
I disagree with that. Like, I understand that argument, but I don't know, man. Like, I think those guys are gonna. To me, this is like a release valve for them.
Maybe,
but who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows?
It's pretty.
Do you think? I don't. Yeah, it is. It's an interesting conversation to have. Like, I don't know what to do with fucking pederasts. I know that it's ultimately not good to have them fucking with kids. So what's the next thing?
Meaning,
all right, okay, guys, you took that away. Now, what are you gonna do with them? I'm just even thinking about just thought about the doll and it fucking bummed me out. Like, yeah.
And supposedly,
it's fucking weird, man.
You can customize these dolls from around the world and say, yeah, I want it to look like this, which is really creepy.
I don't know, bro. Like, some people just, yeah. Like, I think if you out there, like, fucking with kids and shit, and you already got convicted, like, fuck him up. But if he ain't do no shit yet, and he's just a fucking lunatic, then we need to find a solution for these cats, because they got some mental shit going on. What if they had to, like, if you buy one of those, you have to go to a psychiatrist or some shit like that and talk about being a fucking fucked up and how not to be fucked up.
Well, it's not a bad idea.
I'm looking for solutions here.
No.
I'm looking for solutions.
It's helpful.
Like, passing this law does not get rid of these fucking tree jumpers.
So, by the way,
what do you do for your pedophilia, John?
Yeah, right. Nothing. I'm not even close to that. Never in my life. But as these robots get better and sort of more realistic, you ever think you'll pick one up outside of the kid shit? I mean, talking about like regular, like sex robots. You ever see yourself?
I don't know.
No.
Man, I don't. I think the price is too prohibitive.
Oh, I know.
Them shits is what, like 20
Thousands.
racks or something?
Yeah, some of them are really intense.
Yeah, man. What the fuck am I gonna do with that?
Where would you keep it?
That's the other thing, man. Like, that's some embarrassing shit.
I know.
That's some embarrassing shit, man. Hey, can I borrow your hairbrush? Yeah, it's in the closet. And then they open up the wrong closet, and your fucking sex doll sitting there, fucking covered with lint, and some weird slutty outfit that you're into, Sailor Moon or some shit. Fucking, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think the lady I live with, she saw one of those things that I brought home from here. What are they called? The jerkers or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had it out on the table. The dog came in, she came in. It was just sitting there.
Wait, you had the fucking the thing on the table?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking. It was just out.
The coffee table or a kitchen table?
No, it wasn't downstairs. It was in my room. But the dog, of course, still barges in. She comes running in, and I had moved out. I'd removed the rubber part. It was just like sitting there, somewhat sloppily. I just looked. Hey, sorry. What are you gonna do? One of those things we'll never talk about, I guess. She must. Never mind. I don't know. She must have a dildo or something in there.
Chicks got tons of fucking chicks. Yeah. All these chicks got dildos and They all got vibrators, man. I bet you 70% of the women got vibrators. I'm just guessing. I'm throwing out a ballpark number here. I was talking about on Amazon, man, like people working in them Amazon factories, fulfilling stations and shit in the warehouses. They just running up and down the aisles just grabbing dildos. Half the time they just getting dildos.
Really?
Yeah, just dicks. Boxes of dicks. All right, what else?
Well, here's some good news.
And now, time for good news.
Looks like there is a lost John Coltrane album that's coming out. And
nice.
This was recorded back during sort of the height of his powers, back in the early to mid-'60s when he recorded Coltrane, Crescent, and also Love Supreme. So,
oh, that's going to be dope.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It's crazy. I've got a clip of one of the songs that they're teasing with. It's coming out later this month on June 29th, and it's called Both Directions at Once. But here's a little teaser for you.
All right, bet.
So, but the idea is they recorded it, and then for whatever reason, for unknown reasons, they're saying here, it wasn't released, and they threw out the master, but one of his former wives, she kept a tape, and they just recently pulled it up, and they're putting it out.
I wonder what it'll sell. You think it'll go plat?
Oh, I guess. I mean, he's huge. I mean, he's a giant.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah, he's probably bigger now than he was then. He was pretty big then, though. I wasn't there, but I imagine he was. I feel like jazz was even more mainstream back in the day than it is now. Like, you'd have my mom listen to jazz, and she listened to Zeppelin. You know what I mean? Like,
well, when you're at home, when you put on music, you ever put on jazz anymore?
I got Donald Byrd on my record player right now.
Oh, okay.
And then I just picked up a Ramsey Lewis record from my mom. She was jamming. That's dope.
Yeah. Both directions
cool.
at once.
I'll get the vinyl. Fuck it. Grab the vinyl of that Coltrane. Jazz is something nice you can put on that makes you feel sophisticated. Listen to the piano. Don't you feel sophisticated with this shit in the background?
Oh, I guarantee that's why I started listening.
Things.
Yeah. Look at me.
Discussing shit. Drinking a cab. Shout out to Orange Swift. Drinking a dry cab. So blah, 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 blah.
Well, the geopolitical state is blah, 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 blah.
Sounds smart already.
Didn't I? I said geopolitical. Fucking A. All right. Jesus Christ, John, you had fucking it's hard-hitting news today there, bud. Fucking IQ, and what is it? Or Nobel Prizes and Holocaust and goddamn pedophiles. Like,
see? Covered all fronts.
Jesus, man. All right, yeah, that was the news with John.